The Dragon Prince is a show that takes place in a fantasy adventure world full of magic, dragons, and elves. So this story follows three main characters: Cullum, Ezran, two princes of a kingdom, and Ryla, elf assassin. So the story of this show really starts about 1,000 years before the main story. Back, I believe it is 1,000 years. 1,000 years ago, elves, dragons, and humans lived side by side, and they all used magic based off of 6 elements, I believe it is: sky, mountain, sun, moon, and ocean, I believe. And I'm sure I'm missing one in there. But one day, one of the humans discovers a new source of magic, dark magic, and the elves and the dragons get angry at this dark magic because it's perverse and evil. So they capture all the humans, or they force all the humans onto the far portion of their world, and they essentially create a line where one half is where the humans live and the other half is where all the dragons and the elves live. And the humans are very unhappy about this. So a war rages on for the thousands of years, and eventually these humans kill the king of the dragons, who's been guarding this line, keeping the humans from entering the world of the dragons and the elves. And when this happens, they also smash the last egg of the Dragon Prince. This is where the show gets its name. So in the present day, these elves want to get revenge for the slain Dragon King and his son. So they go to this kingdom to kill the king there because he was responsible for killing the dragon and his son. So this is where the story takes place, where Raya and her elves come to assassinate the king. And through a series of events, she ends up teaming up with Ezran and Cullum, who discover the dragon's prince's egg, and they go on a mission to return it. So that's essentially the basics of the story. We're following these three kids on their adventure to return the Dragon Prince to its mother and hopefully end this war. And I have to say, this show is really well done. It's by one of the writers of Avatar the Last Airbender, and it really shows, not just because there's some similarities between the two stories, which there are, but there's a lot of great stuff. Like, these characters are really likable. I really like Raya and Cullum, and even Ezra, I thought was going to get on my nerves, but he's a good, interesting kid. Besides one little flaw towards the last episode where I was like, what? But I'll get to that. Overall, this is a good story. Good animation. One of my only problems with the animation is that it has fewer frames, so it kind of jolts a little bit. It's noticeable. It's not too bad. Once you get watching it, you get used to it, but for me, every time it got slowed, you would notice a slow frame rate. So, you know, if someone moved really slowly, it'd be like that, and you would notice them just kind of like jerk. There's one scene, I think, in the first or second episode where Cullum is hugging his dad, and he just kind of turns his head into him, and it just kind of looks like he's like a robot or something. Very not very good, but I mean, the show looks fantastic, and from what I understand, I think it's something they did on purpose, so this show would look something like an older animated series. As for the story and everything, the story's fantastic. Like I said, the characters are likable. The world building is really good. I'm really interested in this world, and I hope we see a lot more of it. We see plenty of interesting fantasy creatures and some fantasy magic and weapons. Like, there's this sword, I forget what they call it, but it's like a rune sword that's constantly on fire that can pretty much cut through anything. It's really badass. I really love that. I love the way they use magics and their magic, how they build up magic and everything. It's very interesting, very cool. Very, very interesting setup they set up for this world and the characters and everything. And I'm really, really interested to see more of it, not just through their adventure. Just like I would like to read more about it and understand it, because it's a really cool fantasy setting. So I would give this first season an 8 out of 10. Like I said, it's good, it's solid. Some problems with the animation, and it's only 9 episodes long for this first season, which is kind of unfortunate. I think it needed a few more episodes. It ended in a good little spot for the next season. Not like a big cliffhanger, but it's very interesting. But it could have just been like a half season or whatever. It kind of seems like. I don't know if they cut it at half or not. But overall, like I said, an 8 out of 10. It's really good. I'm really interested. As it goes on, I just feel like it's going to get better and better, so I can't wait to watch more. Great show. It's on Netflix now, so go watch it. And now I want to talk spoilers a little bit, because there's just a little bit of things I want to talk about, specifically in the last episode. So if you haven't seen the show, go check it out. It's fantastic. Highly recommend it. So I'm going to talk spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoilers. So in the last episode, Ezran is revealed to be able to speak to animals, which I don't know if they teased earlier or not. I don't remember seeing him talk to any animals, or kind of just like fool around like, oh, I can understand them. Besides, I guess, Bates, but I thought that was something just being cute. Like, all of a sudden, he's just like, I have the ability to speak to animals or whatever. And they have to fully explain it and everything like that. Like, if they would have said something, but maybe they did and I don't remember, or I missed it, in the first or second or third episode earlier on, where he's just like, talking to the animal, and his brother Cullum was just like, stop pretending, I know you can't talk to animals. And, you know, it was something he constantly pushed or something, or even just once or twice. I think it would have made more sense, but it really felt like it came out of nowhere. Like, hey, I have this special power. I'm very useful. Because he was kind of not very useful, because Cullum has magic, or he did. I guess we'll see what happens with that. He was able to shoot lightning and wind. And Ryla, of course, she's an assassin, badass warrior. And Ezra, he was happy-go-lucky. I mean, besides Bait having that flashbang attack, he didn't really bring too much to the team. But being able to speak to animals adds a lot to his character. But like I said, I feel like it came out of nowhere. But that's one of the only things that really kind of bugged me. I like that the son and daughter of the evil advisor, which of course is that trope. Of course, the guy who advises the king is the evil guy. I like how they seem that they're not too evil. They're antagonists, but I don't think they're evil. I think when they finally catch up to their princess, they're gonna have to make that choice between siding with their dad or the princess. And I think they're gonna make the right choice, because they are friends with these guys. And you know, I think the girl does have a crush on Cullum as well, as because Cullum has a crush on her. So it's gonna be interesting to see what happens, because I don't think they're evil. They're not like Zuko was crazy going after Avatar, for example, but he wasn't a bad person. He was a good person who just kind of, his dad twisted him and kind of pushed him in this position. But these guys, they seem kind of somewhat normal and not really evil. I mean, they mess with some dark stuff, but I don't think they're evil. And one last thing, definitely the king isn't dead. I think the king's soul is in that bird, his pet bird. It just has to be. He brought the snake up there, and all of a sudden we didn't see what happened. And they're like, oh yeah, he's dead. I'm just like, there's no way. I'm like, he put the soul of the king in that bird. I'm not really sure why, because at first it seemed like he was loyal to the king, and all of a sudden the king just snapped at him for no reason, maybe because of the pressure. And then he just got mad, and he's like, F you, king, I don't care anymore. I'm completely evil now, which I guess he was evil all this time, because he has this weird collection of coins with souls trapped in there or something like that. Crazy stuff. But yeah, that's just stuff I wanted to mention. I don't know what you guys think about it. Let me know in the comments below. You know, do you think the king is alive and inside that bird? I think that's definitely one of the things. Super excited about this show. I can't wait for the next season, which hopefully isn't too far away, because like I said, this first one's only 9 episodes. So it was good, but it left me wanting more. Like, a lot of episodes kind of seemed like a little bit of filler. I'm just like, oh, I want more meats of the story. I want to see what happens. But it's interesting that the egg hatched at the end of this first season. I didn't think that was going to happen. I was just like, oh, I thought that was going to happen a little bit later. But cool. So I can't wait to see what the Dragon Prince brings to the dynamic of the group. Should be very interesting. Should be very cool. Alright. As always, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. And I will catch you in the next one. Peace out. Hey, if you like this video, we have several other awesome videos you can check out. And again, thanks for watching.